Uh, if you guys think that what, huh? If you guys think that you have any friends or whatever joining, this is still the seventh session. So if for whatever reason you're in here for only the SATs, uh, yeah, again, this is still the seventh meeting. So yeah, yeah, it's still the seventh meeting. All right.
Yeah, we can start.
It's 1:40, so I think we'll just begin. People away joining, they're just gonna miss out. All right. Good morning, and I mean good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to another session of the Android Adventure Quest. First of all, we'd like to, I guess, sincerely apologize for the break we had last week, but it was quite important. So yeah, we needed to take a short break, but don't worry, because we're back again. To begin the session, I'd like to recap what we did for the last one, which we developed an Android application that was a math quiz application, I believe. So yeah, that's what we did last week. Also, just to remind everybody, every half an hour interval between the within the session, we are going to need to take a short technical break because uh, we have some how would you describe this? I guess medical difficulties. Yeah, I guess I don't know how else to put it, but please be mindful. Uh, so we'll take breaks every few minutes in between. If you have any questions during those breaks, you'll be allowed to ask questions for after, and the session will continue as normal. I think you can start now, Phil.
Okay, thank you, Vincent, for the short recap. In this week, we are actually going to continue our math quiz application. So before that, let me share my screen first. Okay. Is there anybody who was not joining the session the last 2 weeks? If there is any, I'll copy the GitHub link so you guys can just clone the repository and start um, on the same page with everybody else. Maybe I'll wait for 1 or 2 minutes so that for you guys who don't follow the last session, you guys can clone the whole repository. And after this, I'll do a short recap about the whole code so that for those who are not in the session, who are not in the last session will understand what we are doing. Is there anyone who is still doing, or are you guys done with the cloning?
I'm trying to open the project. Because I lost my progress in an unfortunate accident.
Okay, guys. Maybe if you guys are done opening or cloning the repository, maybe you can type something in the chat box so that I can know and we can start with the recap of the previous code. Okay, should we continue? Hello, guys. Do I get disconnected?
No, you're
Oh,
there.
okay.
I'm still loading.
Okay,
I'm still
you're still loading.
downloading Gradle.
How about the other guys? Can you give me some update about your current condition? Are you still maybe updating your dependencies with Gradle, or are you still cloning it, or are you good to go? Can you please type something on the chat box, please? Okay. Okay, maybe I'll also open my project. But okay, let's wait.
Are you there, Val? Is anything wrong over there?
Okay, are we good to go?
I am at least.
Okay. Okay, maybe I see. It seems that most of you are done. So let's continue. Um, so before we get to the continuation of the current project, let's review a bit about the code and the structure of our previous session. So if you take a look at the whole structure, we are actually having two activity. So, okay, give it some time to load. Okay, we are having two activity here. Main activity. Wait, this is, okay. We have main activity and quiz activity. So on the main activity, if we open the layout of the main activity, we are having a layout that says like this is math challenge, and then input your name. We are start and say hello. The function of the start button is to go to the questions and send the data of the name. And then if you press the say hello button, it will display a toast with something like hello, something like that. And on the second screen, we have the quiz activity, which is currently still a text view that will be replaced by the name of the user. So in this session, we are going to build on top of this project. But before that, maybe I'm going to take a look a bit about the Android Studio optimization, because last week I heard that there is a lot of problem regarding Android Studio crashing on your site. So the first thing that we can do is we need to first understand that Android Studio is actually built on top of Java. So that one of the most common problem is Java virtual machine is running out of memory. So to do or to change the memory allocation, you can go to the settings. You can click on File, Settings, and you'll have something like this. You can go to the appearance and behavior. Then you can go to the system settings, and then you can go to the memory settings, and you'll have something like this. So if you are having like maybe 1280, you may, if you are crashing a lot, you may change it to something bigger, 248 or 3072. Usually 2 GB is the sweet spot. It is not too much, but quite enough for basic development in Android Studio. So I suggest to change it to 2 GB. And the other optimization that you can do is to check whether your AVD is using the correct amount of memory. So if you go and open your AVD manager, you'll have something like this. This is your virtual device or your emulator. You can click on the edit button, and you'll see here that if you click on show advanced settings, you have a lot of settings here. The setting that I recommend is to make sure that you guys are using hardware accelerated graphics. This means that you are using your graphics card to render the whole Android graphics rather than using software, which means that you're using your CPU to render the graphics, which is not the best idea to do. And then I also suggest you guys to use multi-core CPU to check multi-core CPU if you have multi-core CPU. And for the RAM and VM heap, I suggest to increase the VM heap because by default, I believe that the VM heap is only around 256 megabytes. So I usually increase it to 1 GB. And for the RAM, um, if you have 16 gigabytes of RAM, I suggest you guys to upgrade it to 4 GB here, 4096. But if you're only having 8, you can do it to 2048 to 2 GB. Yeah, you can use the gigabytes selector too if you want. Um, up to this point, do you guys have any question, or maybe anyone not finding the settings on your side? But of course, the best way, if you are having maybe not that much memory or um, problem with Android Studio, is with the emulator. The best way is, of course, to connect a physical device, a physical Android device. You can do that by just plugging in your Android to your computer, and then you can go to the about phone, and then you tap on the build number for a few times. I believe it is around 8 times, and then you have the developer options, and then you can go to enable USB debugging, and then you can test your application directly on the mobile device. But of course, this approach has its limitation. For example, you cannot emulate an SMS service, you cannot emulate phone service, you cannot emulate GPS data, and there's a lot of things that you cannot emulate because on a physical device it is restricted to avoid problem. So we need to do it from the emulator. Up to this point, do you guys have any question? Yes, there's also wireless testing for Android 11 and up. But I believe actually for version of Android prior to 11, there's also wireless testing, but there is an extra setup that needs to be done. Okay, guys, any question about the optimization of Android Studio and emulators in general? I'm not going super deep into the optimization, but if you want a very good performance, like what I've said in the last session, you can go and install Linux. Android Studio runs really good on Linux, especially the emulator. The emulator is, I can say it's almost seems not like an emulator. It seems native most of the time. But on Windows and Mac, yeah, there's some performance drawbacks because they cannot use the KVM or kernel mode virtual machine, which means that the emulation is not that fast. Okay. Any other question before we continue with the application? Any question, guys? Or should we just continue? Okay, I think if there's no question, we should continue with the application creation. So the next step that we are going to do is after we had, or maybe let's first run the application first so that we can see or can review what state it is currently at. So please wait for a moment. I'm running the build process. Okay, so we can see here that we are having our main screen. This is the main activity. We have the math challenge and we input our name here. We can also press say hello. This will show a toast hello from the application. And then here, if we input nothing here and we click on start, it will say that please input your name. So let's input our name here. And if we press start, we'll have a new screen that says Rafael, in case this is my input. So the next thing that we are going to do is we want to change this screen into a quiz screen, so that, for example, on top we have the score, and then we have the question, and then we have the options of the answer. So we can first close this emulator. And if you take a look closely at the current state of the application, we are actually using a constraint layout. But constraint layout, even though it's very powerful, but in this case, it's not the best choice. So I'm going to change it into a linear layout. So let's do a split screen here, and let's change this into a linear layout. Okay, let's change this into a linear layout. Now our text view is being placed somewhere here on the top because it's linear. And let's set the orientation to vertical. We want all the data to flow down, so that if we have two text view, the first text view will be on this row, and then the second one will be placed below it. Okay. And we also want to make sure that this is not this big. We want to just let it be the default text size, or maybe let's say something like 22 SP. Yeah, this is quite reasonable. Okay, so that we are having something here. Maybe we can change this to a name, but this will all be automatically replaced by the data that is passed from the previous activity. Okay, up to this point, do you guys have any question or any problem in your side regarding the current layout or the current process?
Not at the moment for me.
Okay. Okay, all good. Okay, then let's continue. First, maybe we'd like to allow this to fill the whole width. So on the layout width, we can say match parent here. Match parent, so we'll fill the whole width. And then we want to set the text alignment to center. So we have the name on the center. And below this, we would like to have a text that allow the user to figure out that how much score do they have. So let's say score is currently 0. And then let's change the name of this, or the ID of the score text view. Score text view. Okay. And we can remove all the constraint here because we are not using constraint layout anymore. We are changing our layout to be a linear layout. So we can remove all settings that is related to constraint layout. Okay, so up to this point, we have a name and a score here. Maybe let's make the score bold, so we can do it with text style is bold. Then we have a bold score here. Okay, and because we have already specified the ID here, let's just create or connect the field with the code. Let's go to the quiz activity.kotlin here. And here, if we see on the previous session, we have already initialized and connect our username text view. So let's also connect our score text view. late init variable score text view, which is text view. And below the user text view, we're also going to connect it with the view. So score text view is a find by ID, find view by ID, and then r.id.score text view. Okay. So up to this point, we have created these two text view on top, and then we have connected the text view with our code. Okay. Up to this point, any question, guys? Or am I too fast, or is it just right? Okay, no question. Okay, if there's no question, we would like to continue and create the whole question layout here. So the layout is we have a text view here on top that is occupying maybe 1/4 of the whole view, and then we have 4 options below that is a button. So we can do that with text view again. Text view for the width, we want it to match parent because we want it to be the whole width, and the height we want it to wrap content. And then we are also going to set up the gravity. The gravity, oh, it's not the gravity, it's the layout gravity. Is it not layout gravity? Wait, it's, I believe it's gravity. Can we soft like, okay, let's do it later. So let's put it a text first. So the text here will be the question. Let's just put question here. And then we would like to first close this one, and we would like to add 4 buttons below. So we can do button. For the width, we want to make sure that it match the parent, and for the height is wrap content. Also add the text. This is option 1. And then we can duplicate this 3 times so that we are having a total of 4 buttons. But now if we see at the preview here, it's actually kind of two packed together. If you see here, there is no spacing between the button and the edge of the screen. So let's add a padding here. We add padding to the linear layout, and we can say something like 16 dp. I believe 16 dp is the sweet spot. And let's add the ID to all of this element. So let's first go to the text view. Let's add the ID slash question text view. Let's also copy this one. For this one is option 1. So option 1 button. For this one, option 2 button. For this one is option 3 button. And the last one is option 4 button. Okay, so up to this point, we have named our elements from the question text view up to all of the buttons. So the next thing that we are going to do is to connect it. But first, let's place the question on the center and add and give the question a bit bigger text size. So let's go to the text alignment and change it to center. And then let's add the text size and make it maybe like 30 SP. Yeah, so it's a bit bigger. Okay, up to this point, the UI setup is almost finished. Let's first connect it to the code. So we have question text view. We have option 1 up to option 4. So let's do it here. Late init var question text view, which is a text view. And then late init var option 1, which is a button. Late init var option 2, which is a button. Delete init var option 3. And the last one is option 4. Okay, we've done declaring. Then we also need to make sure that it is connected to each other from the view to the code. So let's go with question text view is find view by id r.id.question text view, and then option 1 is find view by id r.id.option1 button, and we can just duplicate this 4 times and change this to option 2, option 3, and option 4. Okay, so up to this point, we have created the UI and we have already connected the UI with the code. Any question, guys?
Nay.
Okay. Oh, okay. It is layout. Wait, yeah. Okay, so we also want to make sure that these 5 elements from the text view up to the button include or try to occupy a certain percentage of the whole free area. So we can use the weight property. So it is layout wave. In this case, I want to make sure that the question occupy 3. And then here, let's do weight is 1. And we can just copy this one. Weight is 1, weight is 1 for all of them. So if we see the result on the right side, the question occupy 3 over the total number here, which is 3 over 7. And for each of the button, it occupy 1 over 7 of the free area. And then also we can set the gravity to center. Oops, not this one. Okay, so we have the question on the center, and then we have option 1 until option 4. Okay, so up to this point, are you guys already having this kind of UI on your site? And if you want, we can just restart our application. And we can see something like this, but with the name changed to the input. So let's wait for the Gradle build to finish. Okay, so here, for example, we input our name. We click on start. You'll see some layout like this, Rafael underscore, and you have the question here, and then you have the 4 options. Okay, any question or problem, guys, with this layouting? So here, to make sure that the whole button and the question is taking the full potential of the free space, we use the layout wave parameter here so that it can occupy a certain percentage of the free space. Any question? If not, maybe we'll take a 3-minute rest first, and you guys can ask question if you want, and I will put the code in the screen so you can check out the code here. We'll continue in 3 or 4 minutes.
Okay, perfect. I'm also trying to catch up.
through the night. She just want the tip, no advice. On the side of the road, what's the risk? Roll the dice. If they catch us, I don't care, cause we all gonna die. Yeah, we all gonna die. I was worried, to be honest, but it's all going right. When I first laid eyes, I was awful enticed. And I might be off something, but I'm all in now. She got a call in now. I don't think that you should work tomorrow. She said, first of all, I'm still going in like rich homie Quan, but with you and me, God, man, it feels so intense. I already seen that movie, but I will go again with you. I got a few I've been tending to, but tonight, I forgot all about them. Through the night, I would try to get it tonight. Hit a phone on my head like you better do right. I'm alone in the bed, yeah, I know what you said, better cope with it. Don't take me for a joke and I won't get a friend that's trying to be more than that. I'm convinced that it's sort of that, but when I see you in the pits, I can tell you it's forcing that. I got time for this. Minus the bullshit, I'm cool now, look at my common sense. And I'm just realizing this. No, my soul isn't trapped, but what's holding me back is the old me. In fact, I'ma get intact, I'ma get it back. Mama, hold me to that, just hold me to that. Don't stack me and Jack, got the city on smack, that's word. That's words to catch 18 all the way to Newburgh. It was only me and her, I don't care what you heard. Only me and her, I don't care what you heard. Got a southern accent, she slur a few
Okay,
words.
are you guys done?
Let me share a few words. Hey, let me share a few words. Feeling unappreciated,
Yeah.
let me cherish you.
Okay. How about the others? Are you guys done? Or should I wait a bit more? Okay, done. Great. So the next thing that we are going to do is we want to define the model. What I mean by model is we want to define the data structure that will be used as the question and answer. So here inside of this package, on our main package, let's right click and create a new package. A package inside of Kotlin or Java just means that it is a folder. So a folder is called package inside of Kotlin or Java. So here we have, in my case, I have com.code.math challenge, and then we can add the package name. In this case, I will just name it model. So the model package will hold all of our models. So inside of the model package, I will first create a class that will be called question model. So we can click on enter here, and I will just add it to Git. But in this case, I'm not going to create a normal class. If you remember when we are learning about Kotlin before, the vanilla Kotlin without Android, there is something that is called as data class. So data class is a class that is special because uh, if we are creating a data class, we're telling Kotlin that we're going to create a class, but it's only going to be a data structure, or we can say that it's only going to contain data without some like custom functionality. We just need like setter and getter, something like that. There's no need to create a class that can be not extended. It can be extended technically, but there's no need to create a class that can have custom constructor or something like that. We just need a basic class that can contain data. Okay. So for our data class here, we would like to have several properties inside. The first one is we want to have the question text. We can say question text, which is a string. And then we would like to have the options. And the options is also a class. In this case, we are going to create a new Kotlin class or file, and we call it answer model. And in this case, we don't want a class 2, we want a data class. Data class answer model. And inside of answer model, we would like to first have the answer text, which is file answer text that has the type of string. And the other one is we want to have a value is answer. So from this properties here, we can know if this answer is the answer of the question. So we can give it a Boolean. So this is just the implementation of the answer model. We just have a string of answer text, and then we have a boolean of its answer. Okay, so we can get back to the question model. And on the question model, we already have the question text, but here we want to put a list of type of answer model. We want to create a variable that is called answers with type of list of answer model. Okay, so this is our model. Oops. We have the question model and also the answer model. Okay, up to this point, do you guys have any question about the models? We'll take a deeper look about why do we need this model later. But for now, we'll just need to know that what each model is containing and how is it being structured inside of the code. Any question, guys? Or am I too fast? Hello, guys. Any questions? Or
They.
okay, no, okay, clear, great. Okay, so after we had already defined the answer model and the question model, the next thing that we are going to do is we want to define a set of question and answer. We need to do it inside of the quiz activity. Actually, there's no need to do it here, but in this case, just to make things easy, we're going to do it here. So we can say file because we want it to be constant. In this application, we are not trying to maybe connect to internet or something like that. So we're just assuming that the question is going to be constant at this point of time. We can call it question set, and the type is list of question model. Okay, and it is equal to, we can use the list of function inside of Kotlin, and then inside of the list of, we can pass in the objects. So we'd like to first create a question model, and inside of the question model, we have to put in the question text and the list of answers. So let's put in 1 plus 1. And then for the list of answer, we are also still going to use the list of method of Kotlin, and then we put in the answer model. And then the text is 2. Is it the answer? Yes, it's the answer. And then we want to do it again. The answer is 3, false, answer model. The answer is false. The answer is 4 and false. And we want to create it 4 times because we are having 4 buttons. So like the answer is 0 or 9, false. Okay, this is an example of the question. Yeah, we can of course duplicate it. Second question, third question, and maybe we create the 4th question and we change it maybe 10 plus 1, 11. This is false. This is true. Maybe 1 times 1. True and false. And maybe for this one, I will just do 3 minus 1 so that the answer is still the same. Okay, this is how we define the set of question inside of our application. We can also actually define it inside of the onCreate method, but there is no reason to do that because unlike this kind of variable that needs to be connected to the view, this cannot be directly instantiated on the class level. You need to instantiate it on the lifecycle, because when you initialize it here, for example, you do find view by IDs or something here below using this assignment operator, it will say that the view is not yet created, so there's it's not possible to declare the connection here. We need to declare the connection on the onCreate lifecycle hook. Okay, if we have time later in the next session, we're going to take a look a bit at Android lifecycle, but for the current point of time, we're just going to do something like this. Okay, up to this point, is it clear enough, guys, about declaring the question set? Any question, guys, about this one? Or can we just continue to the next part? In today's session, I believe there's more coding than before because we are creating a quiz application. Okay, no question. If no question, let's create our control variable. What I mean by control variable is the variable that control the flow of the quiz. So first, we're going to create the question index. So it's going to be var because the question index can be incremented later at certain point of time. Let's call it question index, which is an integer, and the value is 0. Or actually, we can just remove the type annotation, so we can call it question index. And also here, we want to make sure that when the data is first initialized, we want to get the question model to be displayed on our view directly. So first, let's create a function to help with that. So maybe let's call it put question to view. It takes nothing. And the things that we are going to do is we want to change the data inside of this 5 part. So the question text view dot text is equal to, we would like to get the question set that's declared here, and then we want to get it on the index of 0 or on the index of question index. So we can do it question set with the index of question index dot we can get question text, something like this. Or to make it easier to work with later, let's just copy this part and then do a file current or CQ for current question, and then we want to do we want to make it to the current question, and then we can do CQ dot question text. And then for each of the option, we also want to change it, so we can do option 1 dot text is equal to CQ dot answers, the first one dot text. And then we can do the same thing for the other 3. We can just copy and paste. So we can change it to 2, 3, and 4. And for this one, we'll do it to 1, 2, and 3 because this is an array, and array starts with 0 inside of Kotlin. Okay. So up to this point, we have created the function to change the question according to the current index. But to make sure that the question is being reflected to the view, we need to call it inside of the onCreate, so that after the view has been initialized, we want the data to be changed. So we can set a comment here, connect the view with the code. And then here we can maybe say something like game initialization logic. Okay. So up to this point, if we run the application inside of the emulator, we can see if we input our name and we click start, we can see that we have our question here, 1 + 1, and the list of answer. Okay. Up to this point, do you guys have any question regarding the application or the code? Any question, guys, or are you still are you still trying to catch up with the code? Okay, so typing. I'll wait for 1 or 2 minutes maybe. Okay, guys, can we continue? Or are you still trying to catch up with the current code? Hello, guys. Okay, almost. How about the others? Should I continue or wait? Okay, you're done. Great. Okay, please just notify me if you guys are done so I can continue completing the logic. Okay, so let's continue. So if you see at the emulator now, our current state of the application is we have the question and we have 4 buttons representing the answer. And we want that when we press on a button, it will check if the button is the answer. And if it's the answer, we want to update the score. And then we want to go to the next question. Okay, so the way to do that is first we want to create a new variable that represents the score. So score is 0. And then we want to create a function that will be a common function that is used by all of this button. So maybe we can do it here. We can call it function do answer question. Why do I put the word do here? So it indicates that this callback is being called wherever user answer a question. So I use the keyword do here, even though it doesn't needs to be, but just to make the stuff clear. And then if you remember from the previous meeting, if you want to create a function as a callback of a button press, we will need to pass in a few to the function. So we have do answer question and then it accept fee, that is a few. So we can do something like this. And then we want to connect the button to the function. So let's copy the name and go to the activity. Let's first hide this one. And we want to go to the button part here and then add on click and do answer question. And we can copy it for all of the buttons. And after we copy it for all of the buttons, so whenever we click on the button, it will run the same function. So let's just create a log here first, log.i, informational log. And then we say answer maybe. And then we can say like tab. And if we run the application, I think we should use the restart activity. This will fail, I believe. Yeah, it will fail. We should restart the activity. And after we reinstall the application, if we input something here and click on start, then we can now go to the logcat. And here we can go to the most bottom, and then if we click something, oops, let's go to this one. We can see that we have the informational log that we tap it, even though we are tapping on different buttons. But now the problem emerged. How can we know that the button with the value of 2 is pressed rather than the button with the value of 3? Any idea, guys? How do we do it? Any idea? How can we differentiate between the first button with the second button and etc.? How can we differentiate it with the code, because they're actually calling the same callback inside of the Kotlin code? Yes, we are using the switch thing. Actually, it's not the switch thing, but we are actually making use of the few. We can use if statement if we want. It doesn't need to be a switch statement. And also this, the name of the switch statement inside of Kotlin is the when statement. It's not the switch statement, because in Kotlin there is no such thing as the switch statement. So we are going to do it here. So when we want to check the view, and to be specific, we want to check the ID of the view. So we can use when v.id. And then here we can say if the ID is the first button, or the ID is second button, or third button, or the fourth button. So we can do r.id dot option 1 button. We want to do something. r.id dot option 2 button. We want to do something. And here r.id dot option 3 button. We want to do something. And r.id dot option 4 button. We also want to do something. Okay. Up to this point, is it clear enough about how we identify which button is being pressed? This has been explained last week actually, but I'm trying to review it a bit. Any question about this one, guys? Okay, no question. Okay, if there's no question, we'd like to do the next thing is we would like to check for the answer. So we can do something like a new function called check answer. And in this case, it accepts answer, and then it's a string. This function will be responsible to update the score and check if the button that is being pressed is the correct button. So now let's do and continue with this part. So we want to call check answer here. And then it required a string. So for the string, we would like to get the string from the view. So v as button. Can we do this? Wait, type mismatch. Yeah. Okay, we want to get the text dot to string. Let's first log the result here. So answer, and then we call it answer. Okay. Let's also do the things for all of this. And let's see later whether if we really need the when. But if we are using casting, this is casting. Actually, I don't think we really need the when statement, but for the current time being, let's just leave it there, and let's see later if we really need it or not. So up to this point, we can apply the code changes. And we need to reinstall it. And this time, let's input our name. And then if we click on maybe on 2, it will say 2. If we click on 3, 4, 5, it will print out the number here. Okay. But I think we don't really need this looping part, this when part. So let's just copy this and remove the whole statement. So we are having something like this. Okay. Any question up to this point, guys? Any question, guys, or are you still trying to finish the code? Okay, good. Okay. Then the next thing that we want to do is we want to check the answer. Is the answer correct? And then if the answer is correct, then we want to increase the score inside of this check answer. So the things that we can do is first we want to get the answer of the question. So we can do is we do find answer that is a string is we can do a question set of the question index dot answer. Okay, the thing is we need to do it with for, because if we check the model here, we are having a few numbers of answer model, and then the answer is actually located inside of the answer model rather than in the question model. So we need to use the for statement. So we can do for answer in question set of question index dot answer. So we are looping through the answers inside of the current question. And then we want to say if answer dot is answer and answer dot answer text is equal to the answer that is being input by the user. We want to increase the score, and then we want to put it to the UI. So the way we do it is, let's see, what do we call? So it's called score text view. So we can go to score text view dot text is equal to we would like to use the string interpolation, so we can do score is, and we can use this syntax, so a dollar sign and then the curly braces, and then we can say plus plus score. Okay, and by doing something like this, we'll increase the score whenever the user is answering the correct answer. So if we restart the code and then we press 2, the score will increase. But still, this is not ideal because after user answer, the question should go to the next question, right? But we'll do it later. We'll take a 3 minutes break first. So if you guys have any question up to this point, please type it on the chat box so that I can help you guys with the problem. If you guys have any question, please type it on the chat box here, guys. And also please maybe type something if you are done or not, so that I can know whether I should continue later or not. Okay, guys, can we continue?
Yeah. If you're done with your break, we can go back.
Okay, so I assume because there is no response, I assume that you guys are done up to this point. So up to this point, we can already change the score, but we also want to show a snack bar below saying that your answer is correct or your answer is wrong. So if the answer is right, we update the score here. We also want to set a variable, which is var is correct. Let's make it false first. But if it's in the conditional statement here, it's checked that it is the true answer, we can switch it to true. So it's correct is true. Okay. And the next thing is we want to create a snack bar. So you can use snack bar dot make, and we want to choose the upper one. So dot make. We need the few here. It says we need the few. So what we can do is we can just pass in the few to check answer. So we can put in comma here and then pass the few. And here we can do fee is a few. Okay, and then we can pass in the few. And then on the second argument, we are having the character sequence, which is the text. And what we are going to do here is we can say answer is, and then we need a string interpolation, and then we'll switch between correct and wrong by using a ternary expression. So we can use is correct, then correct, correct, and then else we want to say that it's wrong. It says, oops. Is correct, and then wrong. Can we do it inside of string interpolation? Okay, maybe let's just do answer is correct. Yeah, this is easier to deal with because answer is true or answer is false. There's no need to do like string interpolation. And then we want to make a derivation into stack bar dot. Let's just make it short. So we are having something like this. So if the answer is correct, it will say answer is true. And then if the answer is wrong, it will say answer is false. So if we restart and apply the code changes, okay, we need to reinstall the whole app. Input our name. And if we click on 2, okay, nothing happened. Wait, let us check the log. Okay, we forget the method show. So we need to do dot show. We need to do snack bar dot make, and then we need the dot show. If there's no dot show, the snack bar will not be shown on the UI. So if we restart it, then we click, it will say it's like answer is true, and we click here, answer is false. Okay. Up to this point, do you guys have any question? This is just creating a snack bar. And the way to create this is kind of similar with the previous toast, but snack bar is more visible. And if you take a look at the material design guidelines, snack bar is used for information that can be interacted with. For example, if you delete a file, it will show a snack bar like file is already deleted, and then you have an action says undo on the right side. You can use snack bar to do something like that, or something that is more important than information that is presented on a toast. Okay, so the next step that we are going to do is we want to go to the next question. And to go to the next question, we would like to first check if, let's say, index of our question index +1, or we can just do plus question index is equal to So we want to make sure that it is not beyond the list, as in the list have 4 elements, so the last index is 3. So we want to make sure that it is not the same as the length of the list. So if it's the same with question question set dot length or dot size, then we want to do something. The quiz is done. But else, we want to update the question, so we can just directly call the put question to view. We can do something like this. Okay, so if we save and we run the application again, let's restart because the score is kind of messed up. And then let's say name is Rafael, click start. So we have 1 plus 1, we click, and then we have the second question, 10 plus 1 is 11, answer is true, and then 1 times 1 is 1, and then 3 plus 1 is 4. But when we click, our app crashes because we still update the view, but we need to do something here actually. So we'll do it later, but is there any question up to this point, guys? So we have been able to change the question, and we have been able to set the score and the index. Any question, guys, up to this point? Can you give me some response, maybe, so that I'm not talking alone?
I'm fine.
Okay. Okay, so if you guys are done up to this point, so let's complete the do answer question function. So the last thing that we need to do is, if the question is the last question, we would like to prevent the question to put the new question to view. We can do it in a few ways. First, we can just put a return here. Or to make it easier, we can also do else. Yeah, can do something like this. And then after the quiz had already finished, we would like to show an alert dialog that says quiz done, and then your score is something. So to do that, we can do we can use a file, and then we can do alert dialog builder. I will call it ADB. This stands for alert dialog builder, and we can do material alert dialog builder. And here we have the context, and the context is on which page should this dialog be displayed on. In this case, we want to show it on the quiz activity. So if you review about OOP, the way that we refer to this class, that is the page that we are currently on, is by saying this. So we can say this. And then we want, because this is a builder, we need to inject the data that we want by using the setter. So we want to say like set title. In this case, title, we can say quiz done, and then av dot set message. Maybe we can say something like this is a nullable character sequence. We can say that like your score is, and then use a string interpolation and use score. And we also need to add a positive button, set positive button. And if you see here, we have a text sequence, and then the listener, we're going to use this one. So the text sequence is great, maybe. And then let's add a listener. And the listener, we're going to use this one. So dialog interface dot on click listener, and it give us this stuff, a dialog and a which. So a dialog is just the instance of the dialog. It's just dialog interface, and which is which button that is being pressed. And in this case, because we are only setting one button, that is the set positive button, there's only going to be one button, which means that we are going to not use the which variable here that is provided by the on-click listener. We can rename it to underscore. This is a common practice in many programming language, including Dart and Go, that if you're not going to use a certain variable, just rename it to underscore, so that your autocomplete doesn't complain that the parameter is not used. So the next thing that we want to do is after we click on grade, we want to dismiss the dialog. So we can use dialog.dismiss, and then we want to say finish. Finish is just like saying to the application that, okay, we're done, so we can close this activity. Okay, up to this point, if we are done with this code, we would like to show it adb.show. It will show the alert dialog, and if we refresh the whole application, it will apply the code changes. And then in this case, let's just put Rafael in, and then 1 + 1 is 2, 11. Let's just make it wrong. Where is 1? Answer is false. 3 + 1 is 4. It will say quiz done, your score is 2. If we click on grade, it will dismiss the activity and will go back to the main activity. Okay. So up to this point, we have already completed the whole quiz application in like in 100 line of code. This application is not complex at all. This is kind of simple. So our next meeting or the next session, we are going to create another application. We are not going to keep working on this one. So this is the end. But up to this point, do you guys have any question regarding the current code? So like in this session specifically, we learn about layout weight that allows us to create user interface that is taking up all of the space, but with certain percentage. In this case, like this is 3/7, this is 1/7, 1/7, 1/7, and 1/7. And we also had learned about data models. Actually, not learn about what we review a bit about data class to create the question model and answer model. You also learn how to create a snack bar, which is the bottom one here. So actually on snack bar, you can add an action here, maybe like details. If you want to create and expand the application, you create the details. So you explain why 10 + 1 is 11 or something like that. And then lastly, after you finish the game, it'll show you an alert dialog. In this case, we are using not the native alert dialog, but the material alert dialog builder, which is provided by the material library that we have already installed on the last session. So yeah, this is the end of the application and the end of the session. If you guys have any question, I will wait for a few minutes before we continue to the next section. This is the positive button part. So usually alert dialog, it has like positive and negative button, but usually it's only used like on a confirmation. Are you sure you want to do this? Then you have the positive and negative. But in this case, because it's just an alert, I just remove or not use the negative button. And I believe that we can remove this one. Yeah. And it says lambda argument out of parentheses. Yeah, we can do something like this too. And this kind of syntax is actually used a lot in a Jetpack Compose. So the current user interface that we are using, this kind of XML base, is what we call with the Android View user interface. But actually, there's a newer user interface that is being created by JetBrains and endorsed by Google, which is called JetBrains Compose. So you create your UI kind of like how you create your UI inside of Flutter or Swift UI if you ever used those. So rather than using GUI builder that you can drag and drop, or using XML, which is actually really old XML. I think dates back to 2004 or so. We are using Kotlin code so that the whole project is pure Kotlin, and you can create different kind of user interfaces easily. Okay, how about the others? Do you guys have any question regarding today's application? Maybe can you guys say something maybe, so I know if you guys are still doing it, or are you guys
I'm fine. So I mean, I'm just preparing the Kahoot right now.
okay. How about the others, guys? Okay. I think if all of you are done, maybe we can continue with the next section, maybe.
Game time.
All right. In that case, welcome everybody. This is the game session of the Android Adventure Quest as usual. We are going to play a game of Kahoot. As you can see there in the chat, you have the link for the room. Let me share my screen real quick and we can. Oh, whoops! I always forget to share the sound. Bad. You need to sign.
Please use your name.
Oh yeah. Please use your names for the Kahoot game unless you're not intending to join.
Yep. Because there will be rewards, guys.
Yep.
As usual.
Oh my God.
It's Arthur. Oh, Nicholas Arthur. Where's that Vincentius? Is that you, sir?
No, that's definitely not me.
Olige. Who's that?
Ark Warden, okay. Ark Warden. Diren. Oh, please, guys, join the Kahoot.
Use your name, guys. So it
The
won't be confusing.
questions will not necessarily be about the session today, but it's more so about Android in general. See.
Ed Sheeran? Oh, Brian P.
Pepe.
Brian P.
Who's there? Oh my God. Well, we've got like, I don't know how many people in here.
Itu Carla, by the way.
What do you mean?
Teresa. There.
Cheat engine.
Rafael, mau ikut, Rafael?
Okay.
I don't get who is who right now. Oh my God.
Rafael ngefur, not GC. Then who are you?
I'll give it 2 minutes and then we can start. For the people who are planning to join, please go in because we still have prizes. And if you haven't won a prize yet, I mean, why not?
So did you change the song?
I think this is the futuristic one.
Oh. Kira. Rafael. Who is that?
Obviously, it's fake Rafael.
Petir.
Oh my God. Okay. Again, I mean, we want you to use your real names, but if you don't plan on winning a prize, then go ahead.
Yeah. Then I think they don't want the prize. They just want to play.
Alright, that's fine. That's fine too. That's probably better if you want to play and you don't care about the price, right? Knowledge. Sincerity.
What?
What is that? Who is that?
Ribut kalian.
You talking to me, bro? Alright, you know what? It's 3:05. Let's go.
Oh, 3, 2, 1. What few groups aligns all children in a single direction, either vertically or horizontally? Yeah, the song is not futuristic anymore, son.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Always changes back. All right. Nice linear layout. Let's see.
Who is it? Who's hello?
It's hello. Who is that?
Hello.
Who is hello?
Hello. Who is hello?
Hello?
Just go next. Just go next.
All right.
Which one is preferred to be used for debugging? Print.
Brilliant. It is log.
They joke print. It's okay. Oh,
Rec warden.
Warden.
Okay.
O'Brien Ardell is catching up. When an activity first call or launch, a method responsible for creating the activity is called. Which method is that? Is that 2 questions?
Huh? What do you mean?
No, never mind. Son, you're barely visible.
Am I? Oh,
Yes.
whatever. Well, it's on create. So, oh my god, I double clicked it. Alright, whatever.
Vincent wants to use material components. Where should
My
he
bad.
put the material components dependencies?
My mouse tends to double click. So sorry about that. We'll see the score after this question.
Oh, Vincent. Why they use your name?
Don't ask me, man. I didn't make it.
I know Pops spec Yamo.
Buy a new mouse, Vincent.
Nah, man. I can replace the cable, maybe. So it's built a Gradle.
Oh,
Oh my God.
Brian. Sincerity.
Arc Warden, Brian Lay.
Sincerity.
Yeah, wait, on the sincerity. What is a snapshot? Oh, it's Minecraft. No.
Oh, it's Windows Shift S.
That's okay, man.
Just guess it, guys.
Oh my God. Well, this looks like
Was
it was a hard
Oh,
question.
Damn.
We did not discuss this in the session again. These are general questions. So
Oh, Brian.
I mean, of course, Mr. Android is at the top. Arc Warden.
Which Android version supports
Supports
ADB?
ADB. We discussed
Wait.
this, I believe, earlier.
Has Arik won?
Yes, he has.
Brian too, right?
Yeah.
I see.
This question is actually faulty, guys.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, well, I mean, so what's the correct answer actually, Fel, for this one?
All version of Android support ADB. Maybe he
Well,
means Android developer bridge.
well, I mean, Android 12 doesn't exist, so at least that's actually wrong.
Yes.
Oh well.
Android 12 does exist, Win. It's currently on a beta.
Oh, damn.
I mean, I guess it's not like full released. I guess whatever.
Yes.
I didn't know about that actually. All right. Whoops, my bad.
Oh, hello.
Well,
hello?
yeah, for the wrong questions, please
True or
check
false? Can
please
you
check
configure
your
Android
info again.
through your phone?
Oh, that was fast. Oh, wait, what? You can configure your Android project through your phone, as in, huh? Oh well. Oh, it keeps double clicking.
The main use of XML extension file.
No way.
XML.
We're dog shit at the game. We're so shit. We're so bad at this game. That's like 3 knives they got already. Okay. Serious, they're so rich.
What is
They have
ADB?
3K actually. They have 3K actually.
Is it Android debug?
It's I mean, Rafael said the answer just now, so
Yeah.
debug bridge.
See, I was right, but I didn't know the third one.
Rafael fake.
Oh,
I tagged it for 97. Oh, nice.
Android devices can be connected to Android Studio through wireless connection.
Oh yeah, we had this answered at the start of the session, so if you missed that, then such. But otherwise,
Can you?
oh, got knife. And also did get knives.
Ooh,
Through
let's see the winner.
podium number 3. Hello,
Hello. Who's hello?
Lay,
Oh, Lay.
and Arik Warden, right?
8 out of 10.
Okay. So who is hello?
Wait, has Lay win?
Oh my god, it's Guardian. Yeah, Lay has one already.
Hello is Guardian?
Can you check this full scoreboard, Vince?
Yes, I shall. I'm gonna. Oh wow, why? Why is that, man? Oh well. Alright, just a second, guys. We're gonna announce the winner of the prize because
Who is it? Who is it? Who is it?
Alright, so I'm gonna just name them. Yeah, wait. Okay, who's Rafael Fake first of all?
Not me.
Of course.
Is it one of the committee?
Those who name Rafael.
Hello.
It's
Oh,
Arvin.
it's subbing. Okay. Carson has won a prize before, yeah, you won.
Yes.
How about Ed, who I assume is Edward, yeah?
Yeah.
Is it Edward?
Is this you, Edward? Are you Ed?
Okay. I guess he's the winner for this week.
Yeah, because we don't have any repeat winners. You get the prize for this week. Again. Yeah. So like, if you saw just now on the podium, those were previous winners or committee members. So you get the prize, man. All right. So I guess that does it, yeah, for today's session. Why is her name so I hope you all enjoyed the session today. I noticed a lot of people came late, we had a break last week, so maybe if you don't know about that, we are continuing the sessions from now on. If okay, never mind that. If you're able to make it within the time, please do so at 1:30 so we can start accordingly. Otherwise, then we're happy to have you here. If you still want your SATs, then please attend and fill in the exit form in the chat.
Can you guys see the exit form?
I see it.
Should I send it again?
Yeah, just send it again.
Okay.
Okay, I think we can have a quick screenshot session. Can everyone turn on your camera for a while, please?
Wow, ada Nicholas Arthur.
Wow, ada Bentley Edison.
It's just for a bit, just for a bit.
Oh, gila haircut man, where is
Oh,
he?
haircut man.
Take them screenshots.
I'll wait for like 20 seconds.
30 second. Oh, ada Brian. Oh, ada Pink Bed.
Guardian, come on, guard. Whoa.
Oh, Guardian bisa diedit tuh.
Yeah, thank you guys. You can
Alright,
turn off your
then.
webcam now.
You can turn off your cameras. All right, thanks for joining this week's session, guys. If you ever have questions during the session, please feel free to ask as usual. Again, yeah, just give your feedback if you still have any issues. Like for example, last session we had a bunch of crashing. Like if you still have issues, we had that bit about optimization, or you might want to download Linux or whatever it takes. If you think that learning Android is still important to you, I guess, you might want to do that first. All right, thanks guys. See ya.